Well, this is a conversation that I knew was coming for a long time, and I'm just ecstatic that we're finally here. I'm sitting down with my daughter Lily to talk about her first novel. Along the way of this interview, you're going to hear how we raised her, some of the things that came up and helped her become a writer, and even learn a little bit about one of the characters in the book and how it's loosely, but as she says, unmistakably carries a few of my traits, which is pretty cool. Most of you know me for teaching survival and tracking outdoor skills, but this time the focus shifts to creativity, storytelling, and the journey of a new author. We'll cover what inspired Lily's book, how she builds her characters, what it feels like to finally have a book completed that you've been working on for years. It's personal, it's honest, it's kind of deep, and I would consider it a personal favor if you would not only listen but pick up a copy of the book. I think you'll find it inspiring with whether you're a parent, a reader, or someone dreaming of writing your own story. I'll have links for everything down below. So here we are with me and my daughter Lily, Lily Boone. Special guest is Lily Boone. What's up, Lily Boone?
What's up?
It's still hard for me to say that instead of Lily Caudill. We have my daughter with me today. I'm very excited. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about your book primarily, but we're going to talk about how it got started, both when you were little, as you got older, and the things that influenced your writing and all the things that go along with it. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that cool? I've got a bunch of questions to keep me straight. First off, the big one, I guess, is how you got started writing, which I think a lot of authors got started writing from reading a lot.
Yes.
So talk about reading as you were growing up.
Well, you and Mom read me thousands of books as a kid. My favorites were Beatrix Potter, anything with animals. I especially liked Beatrix Potter because she was one of the first authors to personify animals and give them human characteristics.
She, in general, she was the first?
Yes.
I mean, not...
She was one of the first,
yeah,
if not the first person to do that.
To personify critters.
So her books are very legendary, and people didn't realize she is to credit for so many books after that. She was the goat.
I don't know the goat of personifying critters. Okay.
Yes.
I like that. So was that your favorite stuff to read?
Yes.
The Beatrix Potter stuff?
Yes.
What else were you reading then, or being read to, that you remember?
Island of the Blue Dolphins. I remember the first chapter book that we read together was Pooh. A lot of Zen in that, kind of deep for a 3-year-old.
Sorry. Was that your mom's influence or mine? I can try that.
Oh, it's yours.
All right. I do like Winnie the Pooh. Is that a problem, people? Is it a problem that I like Winnie the Pooh and all this stuff? But that was a big part of growing up for you with reading and when did you start writing, though? When did you take, hey, I enjoy reading stuff, now I want to put my own thoughts to paper or pen or computer or whatever?
I would say after I was diagnosed with diabetes, I had so much grief that I couldn't explain. I also didn't know anybody that was diabetic, and I created this comic strip, and I wanted diabetes to not be my entire personality at the time. And so I made that Lucas was diabetic in the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had to go to college, and I was struggling with the fact that I was going to have to be an adult. And I was thinking at 11, how was I going to go to college? How was I going to get a job? How was I going to do all these things as a diabetic? And Lucas was diabetic, and he had this idiot roommate.
So what was the name of the comic strip?
Carrot Business.
So he was diabetic.
And he was a rabbit.
Fancy that.
Mm-hmm.
And who was his roommate?
Zeke.
Zeke was a...
husky. And he was a moron.
Moron in what way? I mean, did you really get on Lucas's nerves?
Yes. He was always... my favorite one I did was when those plastic bags are coming out the grocery store, those reusable recycle bags you can use. And Zeke decided that he could put his Kroger's or Walmart or whatever, he could fit 25 of those bags in the reusable cycling bags. And I'd seen this happen. I'd seen people do that, and it completely defeated the purpose of the recycling bags to put them all in there. And that was my favorite one, was when Zeke decided to use his reusable shopping bags.
All right. So that stuff was written before you ever, that was when you were 11, 13, whatever. That was before you ever started work, and you started work young.
Yes.
At what, 14 or 15? I can't
15.
remember. 15. So it was then that you started on a career of aquatics.
Yes.
Aquatics being, tell us about that.
I started in aquatics when I was 15. I was a lifeguard, and I got it to make friends. I mainly got this job to make friends and be social because I was homeschooled and wanted out of the house very badly. And I didn't end up working with high schoolers. I ended up working with college kids, which was not what I was expecting. I thought I was going to work with high schoolers, but mainly ended up working with college kids those first year and a half there.
And that went okay?
I was thrust into a world of people that were 19 to about 25 and what was going on in their lives. And that was very interesting.
So that, because I think I know the answer to this, but that experience of working in aquatics really started to help you develop.
Yeah.
Even the book that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Which, let's go ahead and say the name of it.
The Reign of Montgomery.
The Reign of Montgomery. Okay, so the Reign of Montgomery was started formulating in your mind when you're 14 or 15 years old. Yeah. What's the experience that you're having at aquatics? Or is it with them or somebody else or somebody you worked with that caused this to start to happen?
I had experienced you and Mom experiencing real life villains, but I had never had a villain myself. And my first villain was my first boss. And I look back and she was terrible. I ended up getting her job later on in life. She was a terrible person. I hope she's better now, but she was a terrible person then. She got enjoyment from humiliating people, making them feel small, criticizing for things they just couldn't help. And so when I'm sitting on the lifeguard stands in the morning, instead of completely feeling sorry for myself and how she was treating me and everyone else that worked there, I came up with this character, Montgomery. And it stemmed from that first boss. And of course, Montgomery became her own character. But
outside of that person.
Yes, all of my characters generally begin inspired by someone, but then they end up becoming their own thing in my mind.
Again, you were smart enough and good enough to get the job and not be a bad boss.
Yes.
So that's good. And that's good. As far as taking all of that, and this is what I know about you, but I don't think I've ever asked this question because I've thought this a million times. When you started writing this book and the other fictional work that you put together, one of the things I've been amazed at is that you just kind of write. You don't necessarily lay out characters and go, okay, they're going to do this down here, and then down at the end of the book, they're going to do this. You just kind of flow.
Yes, definitely.
Can you talk about that?
Very rarely do I know how the book's going to end when I start, or a story's going to end when I start.
How many books do you think you've written?
I've written probably around 100 short stories. I've written 2 books to completion, and I'm working on a 3rd and a 5th book, about halfway through both of those.
Right. So that if there's a method, it's to just write.
Yes.
It just flows.
I first want to write about the characters and then the story. So I have these characters in my mind, and then I have to give them a story to be in.
Do you go around most of the time and these characters are in your mind and you're thinking about them all the time? Yeah, I don't write fiction, but I think about everything that I do. I write about it in my head, and then eventually I write it. Okay, interesting. This is one of the things I want to get at because I don't understand fictional writing. So you write about these characters in your mind first, and then you start to create the story? Or how does that work? How do you bring these 2 things together?
I have the characters, and these characters, they can be in the future, they can be in Renaissance time period, they can be current, and then I have to decide just the essence of those characters, what story sounds interesting with them, and what I can put them in.
Interesting. So do you have right now characters in your mind that the story is, they're just characters right now, but there's a story that has not come to you yet?
Yes.
I like it that you're smiling.
Yes.
So are there a lot of them like that? Do you have a lot of people jostling?
There's a character right now. There's 2 characters in my head, and I know they're together, and they've been in my head for about 3 years, and I cannot figure out where to put them, but it's driving me crazy. I think about them every day.
Not literally crazy, but but you really want to put them into something.
Really want to put them in something.
So do most of your characters end up going into the one or two or now the third book you're working on, or do a lot of that just go into short stories and then you just drop them off?
Sometimes if the character is, if they are not mentally well, I try to drop them off in a short story because I don't want to be thinking about them anymore.
So was that affected by any of the things that you wrote? I mean, you read or had read to back in the day?
Yes, and I've read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe and Charles Dickens, and I especially love Edgar Allan Poe and his,
which is dark.
It's very dark. I really like his dark poetry.
So does that affect you not wanting to go there and there like he did?
Yes, I tend to put my mentally unwell characters in short stories because I don't want to hang out with them in my head any longer. Not to think I have other personalities, but
yeah, I understand. That's a very disciplined way to do it, though. That way you don't go off in a direction you don't want to go. You're in your ego is in control of that, so you decide that, which is good. It's real good. All right, tell me about your writing routine. Do you like paper? You type on a computer?
I have so much respect for anybody that could write a book on paper.
Yeah,
I can't imagine doing that.
Right.
I feel like I zone out when I start typing.
Have you ever written stuff on a paper?
No, not since probably those cartoons that I wrote as a kid.
So in the modern age, like me, sometimes I'll write things down literally on a napkin, or I've got notebooks in my truck. In my go back, I'll just pull those out and write on those on occasion. Do you do that on your phone?
I do that on notes on my phone.
On notes, and I always collecting that stuff. And so, how often do you go back and review those notes, or?
Sometimes I'll stumble upon it if I feel like writing, and I'll go back and look at my notes. I found one note from like 5 years ago about a character I'd forgotten about, and so I wrote about that character. I was like, oh, I forgot about that character. So I wrote a story around that character, a little short story.
And how often do you write stuff that eyes never see?
Most of the time.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Most of my writing.
Nobody ever sees it.
Right.
Is that good for you? Do you like that, or does it bother you?
Sometimes I wish I could share it with more people, but it's just, I just don't know if somebody else will like it. So
yeah. So there is a part of you that is there part of you that your writing is about trying to entertain, enrich other people, or is it for you? Which would you, if you were to give it a percentage, which would you say, hey, 50% of it's for me, 50%'s for
I'd say 50%.
Oh, really?
Because I want to make people laugh. And I think even my dark things I've written are funny. And I want to make people laugh. And I try to have dark humor is my favorite humor. And I feel like all of my writing has a theme of dark humor.
I would agree with that.
I feel like I'm very dark and funny too.
Is there a part of what you're writing that requires research, or is it all just coming out of your head?
It's all made up most of the time. Yeah. I'll look up sometimes. I wanted to look up a particular medieval weapon in this book, and I didn't know the name of it. I had to look it up and figure out the name, but none of it is tied to a very particular time period. It's all made up because I worry that I'll get it inaccurate.
Yeah.
So I don't want to find some person that is, a genius on this particular subject and want to prove me wrong. So they can't prove me wrong if it's in my own head.
Right. I get that.
It's made up. It's why Star Wars is so good. It's all made up.
Right.
It's why all these books that are fantasy books are so good because nobody can call them out on it.
All right. So in this book, let's talk about this book specifically for a while. Do you have a favorite character?
Yes.
Do you want to share that, or is that for the reader later?
It changes. Like every time I've done a rewrite of it, it'll change. But I really like writing about the villains. The villains in the book are my favorite. I think I would probably say writing about Marquise was probably my favorite person to write about.
So you don't have to tell the storyline because I want people to read the book, but tell us some of the character names.
So we have Lilith, who is the main character. We have Montgomery, who is the evil queen. We have Karak, who is a fellow slave. We have Wilbur, who is also a slave. And we have Dietrich, who is a brother, the prince, to Montgomery, and he is actually special needs.
Nice. If out of those characters, are they all have, when you write about Wilbur or Dietrich or whoever, are there other people that you have from your life that are in each one of those characters? Yeah. And again, that's not, you're not writing about that person.
No.
There's just a little bit of inspiration by this person over here, and that forms, you know, the get go. I'm asking, I'm not saying. Is that true?
Yeah,
okay.
That's true.
Okay. So how much of that would you say is built into the book? Like a character like Dietrich, the person you have in your mind, you don't have to say who it is, but is that 5% of Dietrich?
100% in the beginning. And then after about a chapter in, it just kind of becomes their own thing, their own entity.
And is that the discovery portion of your writing style where it just starts to flow?
Yes.
Let me go back, step back in there.
Okay.
When these things and these character developments and these storylines start to flow, is that a time where you have to stop right now? I mean, you work in a job where you can't just stop doing what you're doing.
I can't. Sometimes when I get home, and my husband Chase will be like, "Oh my gosh, how was your day?" And I'm like, "I cannot talk right now. I've got to write. I absolutely cannot talk right now. I've got to keep this while it's fresh in my head, and I know how it's going to happen." At work, I watched somebody eat a bowl of walnuts, and that completely changed my book. I had to add it into a character that had walnuts because this was so funny to watch. Is to watch somebody eat a bowl of
walnuts?
a whole bowl of unseasoned walnuts.
Oh my gosh, that had to be different.
It was disgusting,
especially for the days after.
It was disgusting. So this inspired me so much that I had to go home and write a chapter about somebody eating a bowl of walnuts. Okay. Montgomery eating a bowl of walnuts.
Well, I'm glad she did. Okay, so are there any of the characters that you're writing and bam, they just changed unexpectedly?
Yeah.
Like it surprised you?
Yeah.
Does that happen often?
When I'm really in the groove, if I've been writing for 3 or 4 hours, and then it is really like I have zoned out and I don't even realize I'm typing and I'm thinking through what these characters do. In the second book that has not been published yet, in the first chapter, you get a reveal about Lilith that completely changed her character.
Oh, wow. Okay. And that came as a surprise to you as you were writing?
Yes. It kind of came to me and I was like, oh, that's what's going to happen. It has.
So has there ever been a character where you started writing back when and then you could see the life span all the way through and knew what was going to happen? Or they all just flow?
Sometimes with my short stories. With this book, most of the time not. There are some twists in the book that I had planned from the beginning. Throughout the book, there's several twists. If you like Princess Bride, there's twists throughout the book. Princess Bride, I love that book and that movie. There's several twists that I knew was going to happen, but I did not know how the twists were going to happen until I started writing.
And they would just happen?
Yeah, they would just come to me. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Okay. Write that in.
All right, let's talk about the storyline of Montgomery a little bit first, or next. The thing that I want to get at next about that book is, can you give us even just a snippet of, because I don't want to give it away, can you give us a snippet of the setting? Where is it located? Is there a time frame?
There's the land of Utuk. It is roughly in the Renaissance time period, somewhere in Europe. Somewhere there's castles. It is not fantasy, so there's no dragons, things like that, but it is Renaissance style historical fiction.
In that writing, was there a favorite scene to write? Is there something that you thought, man, I really am excited about this scene coming out?
I was most excited for one of the twists I have in the book.
You can't tell the twist.
I can't tell the twist. I'm trying to think of something I can tell that I enjoyed. I love when Lilith finally does escape the castle. It happens pretty much within the first chapter. She escapes the castle and she's on her own. And the feeling of being free for the first time. And I love pugs. And so she stumbles upon a pug. And I actually wrote the pug before I got a pug.
Right.
But A part of me thinks I made Dolly happen because
Dolly's the pug.
Dolly's the pug.
Our pug now.
Yeah.
All right. So, big questions about writing. What was the hardest part about writing?
Making time to write. It's just the classic.
Do you do that every day?
I wish I could. Sometimes I'll go, when it's really bad, I'll go 3 months without writing. And then sometimes I'll have to write for 2 hours every single day.
Mm-hmm. So that would be the hardest part, was finding the time?
Finding the time, yeah. I think the ideas came to me all the time, but just getting time to put them out of my head was hard.
What would you do differently, or what are you doing differently now than when you were writing for the first time? Because Montgomery came first.
Yes.
And again, now you're 2.5 books past that. What changed now? What happens when you're writing now, or in your character development or story development, that's different than even Montgomery?
Maybe writing down, if I know something's going to happen, writing down how long I want the book to be, and writing down short things in the chapters that I know I want to happen, a little more planning. Mm-hmm. And now that I've learned more about the publishing process, I can fix some of those grammatical errors too, to make the publishing process easier.
Yeah. Along the way, you're saying?
Yeah, along the way. So I won't have so much to do when I publish a book again or publish another one.
Okay, I give you a little piece of recommendation.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay.
I'm serious. As somebody who's written a few books too, write.
Okay.
Do what you're already doing. Write. Then come back. I know it sucks. Here's the thing. The editing part of a book sucks. It's terrible. Everybody hates it. So just write. I think that'll keep you in that creative flow, and then come back and do it later. But anyway, that's just my advice. What is your advice for new writers? There's somebody out there right now that is not your age, that's 11, that has some sort of experience that's really affected them deeply, and they want to write. What can you say to them?
Just write. Make time to do it. Set aside time besides school time to actually write, and keep it. Don't throw it away. As to keep it and look back and see your own progress, even if nobody else has seen it. Go back and look at your own progress. I'm so glad that I kept the first draft of this book. It's really funny.
Really?
It's really funny to read the first version of Utuk.
Like Sam Snake back then. That's my first book ever when I was in 3rd grade. That's why I keep it around too. The one thing I wanted to get at as well is today was a big day because we hit publish.
Yeah.
It's coming out on Amazon as we're recording this. By the time you all see this, it's out. It's out there. I'll have a link for it down in the description below, so check that out. But today was pub date for a self-publishing. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that. What's it feeling like?
I'm so excited. I'm nervous, but I'm very excited.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big day. I'm glad you're here. All right. I got a quick fun round.
Okay.
Lightning round.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
These answers have to come fast, all right? Okay. What's your favorite fictional character of all time?
Peter Rabbit.
Do you have a favorite writing snack?
That
could include coffee.
Coffee.
Is there a book that you've read that you wish you had written?
Oh, all the time. So many books. I cannot think of any titles right now.
Beatrix Potter stuff, probably.
I don't know. I like that I didn't write that because I read it as a kid. So,
okay, let me ask this question. If you can't come across a title in your mind real quick.
I'll tell you what I wish I could have done is come up with the universe that Stephen King did for himself. I wish I could come up with a universe that vast because all of his books are connected. Every single one he's written is connected. Mm-hmm. And I would love to have come up with a way to connect every single thing I've ever written in the same universe.
I never thought about it till just now when you said that, but you are, but you used to be a bigger, I think, maybe I'm wrong, Star Wars fan.
Yes.
Which has its own universe. Stephen King. Did you read Stephen King stuff?
A little bit.
And then
I hate to say yes because there are so many Stephen King freaks that are like, if you haven't read 300 Stephen King books, then
Yeah, I understand.
But I've listened to a lot of interviews with Stephen King about his writing process.
Okay. And what was the one guy that your mom read?
Ted Dekker.
Ted Dekker, who created a massive universe too, that they're all connected, right?
This might be controversial. I think Ted Dekker is Christian Stephen King.
Okay. All right. That's what
If you've read both of those, I feel like it's Christian Stephen King.
Because he created a universe too.
Yes.
Do you feel like Montgomery is part of something bigger than just the second book you've written is about those characters? Does it expand into a different universe? Okay.
I really want to write what was going on in the kingdom before Montgomery and Lilith, centered around Felix, the king before them. He was one of my most favorite characters to write about, and I would love to just have a whole story about his. Like, I could see writing an entire trilogy about Felix. Because he goes on so many adventures and has such a vast backstory that I feel like that needs to be written too.
So when you say he's got a vast backstory and goes on all these adventures right now, they're just here in your head.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because you just talked about that as if it's real. Which is fine. I'm not saying anything awful. I'm just saying it's really interesting to me that you've got all those adventures. Have you written those down?
No. I need to, but no.
Interesting. All right. Last one of the lightning round. Are you a morning writer or a night writer or something else?
Definitely a night writer.
So do you stay up late? Do you lose sleep to write?
Yes. But actually, I love to write just in the middle of the day, because when I'm doing something and when I'm learning, even if it's math, if I'm learning, I tend to think of story plots when my brain's learning something new.
So when you're doing schoolwork for
it's very hard. It's really hard when I'm doing homework, because then I'll start thinking of stories.
Really?
Chase says that's neuroscience, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not that smart.
Interesting.
My husband's a scientist.
So I get really jazzed and come up with millions of ideas when I drive.
Yeah.
Even though I hate to drive.
I do it when I drive and when I go to concerts. That euphoric feeling.
Concert?
Yes. When I'm at the concert listening to music, I heard a term. It's when like a group of people are together and they're happy. That's when ideas come to me. That's when I'll get an idea for a new book.
Interesting. So what did I not ask that you want to talk about? Anything? I'll just tell everybody I'm going to have down below, I'm going to mention it again, I'm going to have links for, because we did the Kindle version and the print version as well. Both of those are be down below. What we said, $199 and $9.99. They're inexpensive, y'all. Y'all need to get these books. I'm asking you as a personal favor to get these books. What did we miss?
You didn't ask me what characters were inspired by you.
I don't know that I want to know that. Do you want the readers to know that?
They're gonna, if they're friends with you, if they've known you for a long time, they're gonna know immediately.
Well, let's do this then.
Okay.
Let's leave that up to the reader.
Okay.
And we might come back and talk about that at another time.
Okay.
You all got to find me in the book. That's
right.
That's your challenge.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. So this has been Getting Wild with Craig Caudill. So come get wild with Craig Caudill and Interest Nation. Today, Interest Nation includes Lily Boone, my daughter. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, have any comments, anything you want to ask about the book, put them in the description below and we'll get you connected to Lily.